In this tutorial, I will show you how to set up the jump animation for your character in Unreal Engine. So let's get down to it. Alright, so first we need to go to the character animation blueprint, so double click on it, and inside the animation graph, we need to work on it here. So here we have the speed connected to the character movement. So I'd like to push these two nodes inside a machine state. So for now, let me just disconnect it. We can press Control and just disconnect this node right here. And we can create a new state machine. We can do right click, and let's search for state machine, this one right here, and we can call it movement. All right, so let me just push connector to the result, and we can just delete, or actually double click on it here, and inside it we can simply drag our character movement over here and connect it like this. And we can double click on this character movement, and from here we can bring that variable, which is the speed. So this way we included that character movement inside this state machine, inside the character movement state machine. So from now we can just delete this part. All right, so inside this movement, let's continue. So from the character movement, we need to bring the jump. So let me just bring the jump. Actually, we have to create, the jump right here. And we can connect it like this. So we need to have two rules. One that's gonna go from the movement to the jumping, and back from the jumping back to the movement. So let's set that up. So inside the jumping animation, we can just double click here, and here we need to add a variable. So the variable that's gonna verify if our character is jumping. So let me just play. So we need to have that variable. So if our character is in air like this, it needs to be true, and if it's falling or dropping down, it's gonna be false. So let's go ahead and do that. So from here, I'm going to be adding a new variable. It's going to be a Boolean. So the Boolean has two values, whether it's true or false. So you can call it here as or in air. And we can simply drag it here, get in air. So if it's true, make our character jump. If it's false, so we have to go back to the movement here. And here it needs to be false. So let me just double click on this one here. And we can bring the same variable. And this now we need to check if it's false. We have to do this transition only if it's false. So we can just drag and set not equal. No, actually not this one. The not for the Boolean. Let me just find it. This one, not Boolean. And we can connect it here. So if this variable is not true, it means that our character is on the ground. So we can go back to our movement. So here, let me just compile. And now we need to work on this in-air variable. So for that, we need to jump back to the event graph, and we have to set that here. So inside the event graph of our character animation, so first we have to check or to cast to character so that we can check its state, if it's on the ground or if it's in the air. So what we can do from here, we can just drag from this node, and we can search for cast to character. The first node that we got here, and as object it's gonna be this pawn owner. So let me just simply connect it to the object. So after that, for this as character, we have to get the character movement. So you can simply drag from here, and let's search for get movement component, this one right here at the bottom. And out of this node, let me just make some space over here. So after of this node, we have to check is falling. So we have a function that's going to check if our character is falling or not. So is falling, this one inside the movement, this one right here. So if it's true, we need to set that variable to true. So from here, what we have to do, we have to set this variable in air. Let me just drag it here, and we can set it. Let me just connect it like this. So if this is true, this variable is going to be true. But we have to connect so that we can keep the flow of our code working just correctly. We have to connect from the cast character to our set. And after that, we should not leave this one. We need to connect it as well so that we can continue the flow of our script. All right, so now we can compile, and let me just play. Go back right here. So we can walk, we can run. So let me just press space. There we go. So we can jump.